Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I spent 20 years as a licensed minister. I've got a Bible college degree, over 100,000 hours of study in the biblical scriptures. And let's say I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to give you a task. You've got one job, and that job is this. You've got 27 documents, and you're going to compile them into one book. 27 documents. You're going to compile them into one book. You know who wrote them. You know when they were written. You know when they were published. And you're going to compile a book. And it's a religious book. It's a spiritual treatise. So it's important to understand the flow, the development of doctrine, practice, thought. So I'm giving you 27 books. You know the authors, you know the dates, you know when they're published. How do you put them together? How do you put those 27 books together? Well, I'm willing to bet that you don't put the 11th book written first. I'm willing to bet you don't put the 5th book written second, the 9th third, the 13th fourth, the 10th fifth, the 6th, the 4th, the 8th, the 2nd, the 3rd. I'm guaranteeing that you don't then go to the 12th, the 1st, the 7th, the 14th, and then put the 15th book as the last book. I'm guaranteeing you that you don't have the book that was first in about 20th place. But this is what happened with the New Testament. The book of James was the first book written. It was written about AD 37, 47, let's say, AD 47. What's a few years between friends? But it's buried in number 20 in the order of the New Testament. Matthew, which is sitting at number 1, was written in AD 66. It was the 11th book written. I don't get it. Why isn't it 1, 2, 3, 4 in order of what was written? Why isn't it James, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, and Corinthians? But instead it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. It's 11, 5, 9, 13. Why? Why? The real order is James, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, Corinthians, Galatians, Mark, Romans, 1 Peter, Philippians, Ephesians, Colossians, Philemon, Luke, Acts, Matthew, Jude, 2 Peter, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Hebrews, Titus, John, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and Revelation. Why? I don't get it. Unless you've jumbled up the order of these books because you don't want people to understand the order in which they were written, because you don't want them to understand the original thought, the original growth of thought, the original development of thought, the original unfolding of the doctrines. It's almost as if you decided to jumble all 27 of these books into a nonsensical order, it's almost like you're hiding something. It's almost like you did it on purpose. And when the books are written in the order in which they're written, when you have the apostles of the Christ write and then Paul respond, the apostles of the Christ write and Paul respond, the apostles of the Christ write and Paul respond, the apostles of the Christ write and Paul respond, it's almost as if you don't want people to know what really happened. It's almost as if by jumbling the order of the New Testament, you're trying to hide the fact that the New Testament was a back and forth Twitter war between the apostles of the Christ and the apostles of Paul. 27 books, one job, make me one book out of 27. There's nobody in the world that's objective that would have jumbled it up the way it's jumbled up. It's a travesty, it's a sham, it's a mockery, it's a Travis shamockery, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's something you ought to think about. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, encouraging you to unindoctrinate yourself.